I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you're a regular viewer here. And if you're new, I would love it if you could subscribe, and a big welcome to you. And we also have to welcome the sign of Capricorn, whether your sun is in Capricorn or your rising sign, also known as the ascendant, because this is the overview for all the astrological energies you need to know, Capricorn, for the month of January 2023. Let's see. So with no further ado, I'm going to dive straight in to your sixth house. Now, your sixth house is the part of your chart to do with your day-to-day working routine. It's also the part of the chart that is about service to others. It can also be health issues. Now, you've had Mars here since August 2022. And Mars, I think, will have brought up some irritating, niggly problems to do with health, quite possibly. If not, it's caused changes to your routine in terms of things have had to happen quickly, or you've had to sort of move, you've had to just change direction, and there's been stress and anxiety, I think, with Mars here. Now, Mars went retrograde on the 22nd of October 2022, so slowed things down a bit and gave you a bit of a chance to catch your breath. Now, Mars is going direct on the 12th, and I highly recommend that if there are any health issues that have been niggling away, that you nip them in the bud whilst Mars stays here until March, because Mars doesn't actually move into your seventh house until the 12th of March. So use Mars here, because if there's anything that really needs to be addressed that you just keep going, oh, I'll make the appointment tomorrow, or I'll deal with it another time, it really would be working with the cosmological energies in a positive and constructive way. And you're a constructive person, Capricorn, if you addressed whatever it is now. It may not be that. You know what's interesting with this sign? It can also be about pets and small animals. And it may be that you've got some problems with pets, that they've got to go to the vet, or they keep having a niggly problem that comes up. Don't neglect that either. Get it nipped in the bud. Let's move on to you, to your first house, to Capricorn, because Capricorn, gosh, you've had Pluto in your sign, our planet of transformation, since 2008. And even though obviously with that amount of time, we all change anyway, particularly for you, Capricorn, you will have noticed you've been through some extraordinary times, because not only have you had Pluto in your sign transforming a great deal about your identity and how you feel about yourself, but you also had Saturn here and Jupiter, and they will have created enormous life events and situations that you've had to navigate over the last few years. Now, Pluto, as you know, is going to be actually leaving your sign at the end of 2024 completely, and is going to give you a little taster of what it's going to be like when it moves into your second house, Aquarius. And that's your house of finance. So it's going to start weaving its magic in your second house of finance. And what I want to look at is both Venus and Mercury, because you've got both Mercury and Venus in your sign Capricorn at the moment. Remember, the first house, the house that you are in, is your identity. It's how we see you. It's how the outside world see you, Capricorn, or you, Capricorn ascendant. And with both Mercury here, you've been quite chatty and had lots of communication. Then, of course, Mercury retrograde on the 29th, so things will have perhaps, thankfully, slowed down a bit. But Mercury, of course, is going to go direct on the 18th. And so it's also, I just want to remind you, it's been conjunct Pluto. So you might have been having some quite serious and deep conversations with some people that have been quite transforming for those relationships. And bearing in mind, we've had Venus here too. Venus, which is about love and beauty and attraction and self-worth. I just wonder, Capricorn, if you're beginning to feel, having been through so much change in the last few years, whether you're actually beginning to really feel that you are emerging into a new you. And whilst I'm talking about Venus, I just want to give you the heads up that, like Mars has had its retrograde phase, Venus also this year is going to be retrograde. And it's actually between the 23rd of July and September the 4th, and that'll be in Leo. And for all of us, that is going to be connected with relationships in some respect. But I will come to that later in the year. Because let's look at what Venus is about to do. Because on the 3rd of January, it's moving into your second house of finance. But this is also the part of the chart where we get to see how you value yourself. With Venus here, I think you are moving into the new year feeling much better about yourself, feeling much more, as they say, sat in your seat, more stable, more solid, hopefully not round the waistline, but in the sense that you'll feel more secure about your character and your personality. And by the 22nd, Venus will be conjunct Saturn, that of course has been in this part of your chart for a couple of years now. Now, Saturn is our planet of restriction, of boundaries, of containment, and it's your ruling planet. So you are quite comfortable with Saturn. And I just feel that Venus conjunct Saturn for you is going to make you feel just much more kind of rounded and secure, and really kind of with a much clearer vision of where you want to go this year and how you want that to unfold. By January the 27th, Venus will move into your 3rd house, Pisces, the part of your chart to do with communication. And I just think there's going to be some lovely discussions whilst Venus is there, with close neighborhood friends, with friends around, siblings. Just gives a nice feel to it. And I think also your communication in general is going to be much gentler and kinder. You've had quite a tough time, Capricorn, and I think you're now also beginning to see that light at the end of the tunnel. But we can't finish your reading without looking at Uranus, our big outer boy of shocks, amazement, surprise, waking up, of explosive events, of unexpected events. Because Uranus, of course, has been in Taurus in your 5th house, which is that part of your chart to do with creativity. It can also be to do with children, projects you want to launch, anything that's creative. It can also be love affairs. And Uranus has been retrograde for some time here. By the 22nd, it starts to go direct. Now, this is just going to bring up some unexpected twists and turns amongst your close friends and amongst any significant kind of romantic relationships that you have been involved in recently. Will that be good? Will that be bad? Well, it will depend personally on your own chart as to what's going on. But what's for sure is that it's going to change things, and maybe in extraordinary ways that you're quite comfortable about. So that's your overview for January for 2023. Thank you so much for coming to join me. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.